All of this is for a girl.
I'm not stopping until I bring her home.
That's for slapping that woman.
That woman was my wife.
That's for slapping your wife.
Who are you? What are you?
Hey everybody, it's your boy Jay Rich. You know me, Spider-Man, all day, every day. And I'm here with...
Ryan Misher, General Manager of Day One Studios.
Darcy Mendez, Darcy Loves Horror.
And we just got back from watching A Working Man, directed by David Ayer, right? Yeah. And it was a screenplay by him and Sylvester Stallone, but it was based on Levin's Trade. It was by Chuck Dixon, and it had Jason Statham. Who else was in there? It was, big star wise, it was Michael Pena and David Harbour
from Stranger Things.
Yeah. This was so like the premise is, Levin is like an ex-Marine and he's like a commando. It takes place in Chicago. He works for Michael Pena's character at a construction site. He's like a blue collar man.
A working man.
Yeah, he's a working man. And Michael Pena's daughter gets kidnapped by human traffickers that are connected to like the Russian mob and all kinds of stuff, and it's like Commando, like, but it was all over the place. Wow, I don't even know how to even really go about it. Like, the action was dope. I'll give it that. The action was dope.
Like towards the end of the movie.
End of the movie, let's be honest, yes.
And he had, like, Jason Statham's character, Levin, he must have had a life bar because he should have been shot so many times. And
he had 9 lives plus 25.
He had the plot armor. And the movie is literally just plot armor, the movie. It was so all over the place. It felt like I was watching kind of like a cutscene in a video game where like somebody was playing like a video game.
Yeah,
the
guns and
yes, and everybody else was an NPC, and Jason Statham was
just standing there, just popping everybody off.
Yes, exactly.
Like, just no hits at all, just popping off 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, 4, and it keeps going.
But that part was entertaining. That part was entertaining.
It was.
Story wise, it was all over the place. What did you say about it?
That's it. It was like a side quest built into the main story. Because you got your main story of him trying to save the girl, but the side quest along the way is him taking
the Russian
the human trafficking, the Russian mafia, all these other devices is happening at the same time, and they lead.
It just like, all right, so like, I know we sound like we're all over the place, but that's how the movie was.
The movie was all over the place.
The movie was all over the place.
And let me tell you something. These villains, some of these villains were like straight out of a cartoon character. Like, literally, one of them looked like Uncle Fester, and one of them looked like Marilyn
made that
Manson.
comment.
And they were
and don't forget the penguin.
Oh my gosh, yes, and the penguin.
Yeah, I mean Burgess Meredith penguin, not Colin Farrell. No, Burgess Meredith penguin.
Yes, I forgot. Yes, the penguin. And then we had who I think was maybe Dracula because he was Russian. He had this cane with the skull on it. And then there was this.
I want that cane, by the way.
I said the same thing. I said out of everything else, I said I want that cane. But there was this, and towards the end of the movie, there's a moon in the background, and let me tell you, I've seen movies.
Yeah, in the third act, they kept showing the moon.
They kept showing this moon, and the moon was the worst moon I had ever seen in my life.
It was so massive.
I said, I see why this is a David Ayers movie, because the Suicide Squad he did was not all that great. The best things were Will Smith and Harley Quinn. This movie to me is not called A Working Man; it's called Moon.
This movie was. I laughed every time they found a way to call him a working man. I was like, title drop. Like
that's what I said too. I was like, a working man. There he is.
And they had to. But it was funny because the opening was Call of Duty James Bond edition. With like the bullet flying through stuff.
Right, we weren't even in the movie for 5 minutes, and immediately someone was getting beating up, and it was like, you're gonna not do this. I was like, oh my gosh. I said, if this is where the movie is going, this is going to be bonkers.
And it was funny because like you could tell there was times they were just doing standard dialogue, but because of the situation, it was unintentionally funny. It was especially in the beginning, there were so many lines that were supposed to be, just standard lines, but they came off so silly.
So comedic and so silly. And then his daughter was such a highlight in the movie. I don't know.
But did nothing.
Right.
Like, I didn't understand why she was such a thing.
She was a side quest.
She was just
That's what it was. No, she was a side quest. And
she was the main story built into the side quest.
Facts. Yes.
She was the main story built into the side quest.
No. You guys got it right and wrong at the same time. The entire movie, every storyline was a side quest.
Right.
There was no main story. There was no main story because
he was completing side quests, and it was like, what are we doing here? Like,
you
aren't you supposed to be
trying to get all side quests done before you face the final boss.
Right, exactly.
But there was no final. There was no final boss.
No, there was no final.
But you had a great action scene, especially in the third act.
Yeah.
There was cool fights. They gave you a good fight, like good action from in the beginning, and then they sprinkled some cool action sequences here and there.
Him and the guy who was in charge of the biker bar. That was a pretty decent. Decent fight. That was one of the better ones, I thought. And I could have sworn that guy looks like Omos from the WWE. I could be totally wrong, but that's what he looked like to me.
Yeah, it was just all over the place.
It was
like I couldn't keep track of I mean it was easy to keep track of.
I gave up.
But I didn't know
I gave up. I'm not even
what the point. I didn't understand the point of the movie
because there was no point.
And then when it ended, it just ended so.
Listen. It was another Jason Statham movie.
No, but this one ended like weird.
But a weird version of a Jason Statham movie where he has to save somebody, protect somebody, whatever, get revenge. He gets the revenge, and then he just walks off in the sunset because the same thing happened in The Beekeeper. They just let him walk into the sunset, walk into the ocean. I'm like, where did he go? What happened? Oh, you ended? What the happened here? Thank you for not telling me anything.
Yeah, it just ended so weird. It was one of those movies where afterwards I felt like, oh, okay, that was it?
Yes, that was it. Death of a Unicorn was way better than this.
It felt like a long TV episode.
Yes.
It felt like
it to end so bad.
It felt like a long TV episode that ends.
Yes.
That just got canceled without ending.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, it got canceled without the ending.
It wasn't like there was a setup for a sequel. I mean, they could if they wanted to.
Let's not do that. We don't need one.
But it's unnecessary. What was this movie?
Yes. Wait till you see Death of a Unicorn. You're gonna say the same thing because I saw Death of a Unicorn, but it was way better than this.
This was such a weird movie.
Yes.
Again, the action was dope.
Yeah. It was John Wick.
It was,
but not fast. It was just a slow burn of John Wick.
Yeah, you just took John Wick and ran it at half speed.
Right, exactly.
I didn't know what to do with this movie. I came out of it and the reps were looking at us like, huh? And I was like, it happened.
It's
a thing.
It's a movie. It's a movie.
There.
I'm like, okay, cool. On to the next movie.
Yeah, what a weird way to end it, though. Yeah. It just felt unfinished. There was
just like The Beekeeper,
because something else needed to happen.
I thought somebody would die at the very end.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody to bust in his house, and just be like pop, 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 and
Oh,
I'm
they
like,
come back,
oh
or
no,
at least hit the old dude that was yelling at the end.
You survived.
It felt like there was supposed to be
more,
another like 20 minutes of the film,
and they cut it.
Yeah,
but it was already going on for too long as a
way
film,
too long.
and
as it was. You know what I mean? Like,
listen, it was about 2
somebody
hours.
just went and
It
flipped
could have
off
been,
light switch,
it could have been maybe
off.
like an
We're
hour
done.
and a half. They could have cut out a half an hour of the movie because it was not necessary. It was a very slow burn. I'm surprised I didn't fall asleep, to be honest. I was looking at my phone. That's how bad it was.
I was so confused. I have so many like confused
Questions?
feelings about
questions,
this.
so many
Like,
questions. So it's
Me
like
too.
I don't know what to do. So honestly, like out of 10, I would say a 4.
I would give it a 3.5.
uh,
Actually, I'll give it 4.5 for the action sequences.
I mean, for me, I try to make sense of a lot of things when I see something, but this right here, I just
Yeah.
I can dig and dig and dig, and
You will come up with nothing.
I come up with even more of
Questions.
the same.
Yeah.
So
It was a bad date. It was a bad date.
It was.
I'm going to give it mid 5. I'm going to give it mid, not a 10, mid, because of the ending. It was good fighting, good action sequence, good everything on that. But it's a super, super slow burn.
Yes.
It wasn't a bad date. You know what it was?
it's
It
like-
was an
it's like-
awkward date. It was an
Yes.
awkward blind date,
Yes.
and then once it was over,
You found she's
you,
dude.
you got you walk her to the door,
Right.
and then you go, well, had a time. All right, I'll talk to you
I'll
later.
talk to you later.
And
Bye.
never call them
Never
again.
Call them again.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whew. Well, when this comes out, check it out. Tell me what you think of it.
Drink.
Yeah, don't forget.
Yeah, make sure,
drink.
make sure you
Have some-
high. Listen, if you get high and drink,
We're not gonna promote.
listen.
We're not gonna promote drug
I know
use.
that. Well, no, but I'm talking about
Just-
No, but marijuana's not a drug. Okay, shush.
Oh
listen.
my goodness.
You may enjoy it if you are slightly inebriated. That's what I will say.
Don't expect this to be a deep story
Absolutely not.
or
Which I have
like
done personally.
or a movie with direction.
Just go in and just with no
It's got-
expectations.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
it.
All right,
much.
we're gonna end this. Just comment below what you thought of it when you get to see it, and don't forget all that stuff. Like, subscribe. Help a brother out.